Hi everyone, and welcome for this week, the Adobe Live show dedicated to UX design. Last week we were live from Berlin, the awards conference, and now we're back in San Francisco with awesome UX designers, and also to celebrate a new release of Adobe XD, but I will talk about it. But before, hi Claude.
Hey.
Welcome back.
How's it going?
Always a pleasure.
Good, thank you.
Mark, welcome back too.
Thank you. It's good
So
to be back.
yeah, let's say all hi to Claude and Mark. Mark, you were a guest a few weeks ago.
Yeah, this was just
was it?
before Christmas time.
Yeah, in December.
Yep.
Yeah, and Mark will be hosting that week. So thanks for coming and doing that. And Claude, thanks for coming back.
Yeah,
It's
thanks.
awesome.
Thanks to
Always
Adobe.
exciting.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, they're like Claude and Mark. Yeah, Claude, as known as Creative Cloud. Of course.
Yes.
Yeah. Celebrating a new release of Adobe XD. So make sure to update your Adobe XD software, checking the Creative Cloud desktop application. And there is a way actually to force the update. If you don't see it, you can say in the settings, of the Creative Cloud app, check for updates, and then you will have this new release of XD. As every week, there is a daily challenge. Okay, so we invite you this week to create a smartwatch application. Maybe we can switch to Mark's screen because we are sharing with you a free UI kit designed by Marcelo Silva. So it's what do you think about this kit, Claude?
It's great. Actually, I'm a big fan of Marcelo Silva.
Yeah.
I follow him since a long time on Dribble, and he provides really good assets. He's really killer designer.
Yeah, I mean, look at that, like all these elements, and you have pictures, typefaces. So really you should get inspired and share with us a smartwatch application. The topic of your choice, just a smartwatch experience, at least 3 artboards. You can, using the prototype view, connect the artboards and share the prototype with us. But all the details are in the challenge tab. So if you're watching, make sure to be on behance.net/live. There is the chat tab, info tab, and the challenge tab, and you will get all the details. We will also give away some XD socks. Every time we are live with Adobe XD. It's super easy. You just have to be active in the chat, so make sure to sign in. Okay, sign in, and you can get the XD socks.
They're great socks.
Yeah, great quality for the winter. This is awesome.
Winter.
The winter in San Francisco.
California winter.
I mean, I was in Berlin last week.
That's winter?
That's winter. That's winter. I can tell you that's winter. Awesome. So in XD also, make sure to notice there is a new feature. Maybe we can do a quick demo. What do you think?
Yeah.
Okay. So if we jump to Mark's screen, we have shared a Creative Cloud library. So this is new since this morning. Now, what you can do is add vector assets in the Creative Cloud library. So here, Mark, you're working with an icon that has been designed by Anton and Aaron. It's part of a set of free icons that we give for free. They are made by Anton and Aaron, Lance Wyman, and also by Bureau District, which is a Swiss agency. We will share the link in the chat. But basically, if you edit this icon and just save, it will save the icon in the Creative Cloud. And now if we switch to your screen, Claude, you are using the assets and you drag and drop the icon, and it was black, but in a few seconds it will update these vector assets. Here we go. So, and you would have this icon on 100 artboards. It will update all the artboards. So this is really enabling a new workflow where you can have designers working on all the vector assets and from anywhere in the world, someone in Paris working on the icons, pressing save, and it will sync with all the UX designers working in XD with this symbol. So this is awesome. It also works with pictures, but this is something that we introduced a few months ago. So now you have pictures that you can edit in Photoshop, and you have icons. So we have people watching from Vienna. Okay, and I was teasing this feature on Friday from Berlin. This is true. So now it's available. Okay, I couldn't share the date, but actually the date was just today. Yeah. Is it also implemented on Windows? Yes. Make sure to update also your Windows version. XD is on both Mac and Windows. Okay, so I will let you guys. Okay, I know that Claude, you have an exciting project that we'll be working on for a few days. Yeah. Should be a lot of fun. And also Claude wants you to participate. Okay, so stay tuned and have fun, guys.
Awesome.
Okay,
Thanks,
see
Michael.
you.
Thank you, Michael.
We need to animate some smoke. Awesome. So let's see. We've got Philip from Toronto. Hey, Philip.
some Canadian friends here.
Somebody, Jerome from Toulouse. All right, so real quick, I thought it'd just be good also just to get to know a little bit about yourself. So maybe we can take a couple minutes. And I'm based locally here in San Francisco. I work for a company called Atlassian.
Cool.
I work on the DevTools team, which is Bitbucket. And yeah.
Nice. Cool.
So how about yourself?
I'm Claude Piché, as you guys know now. I'm from originally from. Oh no, I can't say that because that's part of the contest. But so I right now I live in San Diego, and I work for a company called ServiceNow. That I used to work for Telepathy before, and then we got acquired by a massive corporate company. So I work on the innovation team there as a product designer. So every day we pretty much go in the office and think about what's going to be in the future. Awesome. And think about the future of the company and come up with a lot of different prototypes. We've been using a lot of Adobe XD because for us it's super, like, one big need is to move from sketches to pixel really fast, and so far that's been the tool that I use the most to experiment some different concepts and ideas.
Awesome. That's great. Yeah, we use XD in a similar way, just mainly because it's probably one of the quickest turnaround tools you can use from getting from prototyping to share. So even within a couple hours, as we'll find out today. Awesome. So we've got some people from Sao Paulo, Brazil, Germany. Hey, Frank. Awesome. So why don't you just let us know what you're planning on doing today?
Oh yeah,
and
for
what
sure.
the kind of project is. We got a really exciting project, guys.
Cool. So just give me a second here. So actually that project came up from an idea of one of my friends and mine. They currently work at WeWork in San Diego. They're called Arthur UX. You can go visit their website if you want, but they're really, really big foosball players. And right now they have a really nice table and all of that, but they go through some sort of a pretty hard process to. Well, it's not that hard, but they track the scores via Typeform that then goes into Slack, and there's like a Slack bot in there that measure a bunch of stuff. So my friend Brian Bimschlager is a really crazy guy about forms and Excel and how to manipulate that data and like resurface the data.
Awesome.
So we were just talking and having a beer, and then I decided to create a fictive app that would go well with a smart foosball table.
Awesome.
So that's our fictive brief for today. First, we're gonna call the app or the project. We're gonna call it Foosball. So, guys, the first contest that we'll do right now, and you're gonna win a pair of XD socks. I will need a logo for that app, and the only constraints I'm going to give you guys is to use white, red, and blue because it's really sporty looking. So I will need a logo, so please, I don't know exactly how they share it, but it's just create me like a vector file, and then maybe we can show how it works in the library too.
Yeah, so for those of you that are kind of just tuning in, we've got Claude here, and Claude's going to be focused on a foosball app. The ask is if anybody would like to contribute to creating a logo. Now, is this a mobile app? Is this a desktop app? Or are they going to be using an iOS app icon? What kind of?
I would probably recommend to do a logo that, that rule that it's supposed to fit in a square inch.
Okay. That can crop
so I would probably try to be mindful about that, but it's going to be used through the experience. And I'm going to talk about the different touch points in a bit that we're going to talk through.
Great. So request is for a logo for Foosball, and the constraints are white, red, and blue as the colors. So we look forward to seeing your submissions, guys.
So actually, it's the colors of my favorite hockey team, the Montreal Canadiens. That's
nice.
Why.
I saw somebody was watching hockey all night last night that's joining us. Maybe that was Mateus.
Oh, cool. So let me talk to you guys about that table. So again, it's super fictive. You think about the future and maybe it could be done. And that's why we use apps like Adobe XD to validate our concepts. It came from an idea after a few beers, and then we can validate like that concept in there. Yeah, exactly. So Foosball Pro is a smart Bluetooth or Wi-Fi. I don't know yet. but
Okay.
Wi-Fi enabled table that will allow you through to connect via an app. So we're going to look at the different hardware capabilities. Did I say it right that
Yep.
time? So it's Wi-Fi. It has, let's imagine that's going to be having smart sensors on the player, so we can calculate a lot of different data and advanced stats on it. We're also going to have like some sort of a video camera that could be like above the table,
Awesome.
and maybe that has like a tracker on the ball itself to capture some replays or something. And finally, some external speakers to play music while you play. Maybe you can pre-select your favorite song or something.
Have your theme song when you walk out. and
Yeah,
kinda
exactly.
Get your jam going. Awesome.
So when we know what's the hardware, what the machine is capable to do, that's when you're able to think about some different features that you can leverage from that hardware. So that's
Correct.
the way that I'm gonna try to. I'm not an IoT expert of any kind. I've worked on a few projects like that, but that's my way to go about it. And that's something maybe today that you'll notice that the process is a little. I'm not the biggest process-oriented guy, but we'll try to do something that works pretty
Yeah,
well.
I really like that earlier. You said you just kind of experiment and fail
Exactly.
as much as possible.
Yeah.
So I think that's a great approach.
So
Ashopa?
I mapped out the different features that are going to be aligned to the experience. So when you're thinking about the experience, there's a pre-game, so everything that happens before a game. Then there's features that's going to be during the game, and then post-game.
Okay.
So pre-game, you could like probably request a matchup. So let's say I'm here at Adobe, and then you're sitting at your desk. I can request a matchup, and let's go play.
Right, so I could get a notification.
You get a notification, so it brings us to the second feature. Then I'm not going to go through everything, but basically there's going to be a social feed where you can see what people share, the scores that has been recorded by the machine. Maybe you can create multiple leagues in there. A messenger if you want to chat with some buddies and talk trash a bit on the chat, like you guys sometimes do here. Then you can create some tournaments maybe. Then if you want to be better at the game, maybe we can provide them some resource videos, like tutorial videos on how to be a better foosball player, because I'm legit really a bad player. More things, so things that happen during the game. So the idea here would be that we would somehow have an iPad. I can show you right here, but we would have like an iPad that is mounted on the table, and we could have some like live score in there. Maybe we can do some live replay too. So let's say you just did an awesome goal, it would show on the different screens in there. We were talking about Spotify integration to play your favorite music while you play. Another interesting feature that could be fun is that while you're playing, maybe it could notify all the members and ask them to predict who's going to be the winner. So you know how like right now on Instagram stories when you can do some polls and like who's going to win. So maybe a similar way to gather that feature.
Lots of great ideas. I'm excited.
So one of the main feature that I think is really cool, it's called the Feel the Pressure. So this could be a feature that could go on your Apple Watch. So let's say you're playing and the score is like 10-9, super tight game, or 9-9, and then your watch starts to vibrate to just add even more pressure. So that could be really interesting.
Awesome.
So then post-game features would be along like where you track and log your scores. Maybe we were talking about those sensors, so we can have a lot of advanced stats there. Controlling some settings, profile, achievements, maybe.
Cool.
Maybe so all of that. So
Yeah, it sounds like you basically kind of established some of the potential features here. And
Exactly.
so now, like for you, how do you generally start your approach if you were? And I like the way you're using XD here. You kind of have the content display boards as artboards in there, which is a really nice way to just kind of keep us all in XD.
yeah, all in one screen. So that's a really good question. I think right now, to focus my story and actually get an MVP out of it, I'll start with like a user story. So to cover all like the bases in there. So the overall, it's cool to have the feel the pressure and all those crazy features, but you got to focus on the essentials, where it's like, I'm here, I want to request a matchup with you, we play, and the score is
Okay.
logged. That
Cool.
would be the MVP and like
The
the,
MVP.
the good features there.
Awesome. And for those of you that are just joining us, we've got Claude, is it Piché?
Yes, exactly.
And we're going to be working on a Foosball app here in Adobe XD. Don't forget, if you're just joining us also, let us know where you're from. We'd love to just see kind of all the new places that's popping up in the conversation. And yeah, and
Cool.
also we're going to be giving away these XD socks here, which are, I've got a pair of these at home.
Yeah.
Do you have a pair? Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
Nice.
Awesome.
Cool. And just to cover the last part of this quick presentation, we're going to cover different touch points, and that way we're going to be able to show that XD, you can design mobile apps, you can design iPad experience app, and also Apple Watch, which is the contest that you guys will be also doing today. And then
Go ahead.
yeah. So, like I said,
Awesome.
so I was sketching some stuff over last night. I'm not the best sketcher ever, so don't please be polite with my sketching ability here. So basically, this is the main story where from the time you open the app all the way to doing a game and then finish the game and then share the result. That's our MVP today. So if we start from the left here, you would have like some sort of welcome screen. So that's like a sketch idea of a logo. Maybe it can inspire some of you guys to create that logo right now. And it's not going to be Foosball Pro. It's going to be Foosbrawl. We changed the name. So you would like continue in there. Once you get in the app, maybe you're getting brought in right in the news feed, so you can see some most recent news, some most recent scores, photos maybe that the admin would post of a certain tournament. And then you would have like some sort of a bottom navigation here. And then on the third screen here, you would have that play button. Once you hit that play button, it would pop up a menu from the bottom. So from our big research here, we figured that playing might be the number one action that someone wants to do once they're in the app. So in the play mode, you would have like, you could play a friend. You could do a same division matchup. So you want to play someone that is your level. You don't want to get beat up too hard. And then it would scan some people here and then show you a few options of a player that you can challenge.
Cool.
So once you get that list, you can see who it is and also like their record. So if you tap, let's say, on BIM at this point, you would have a matchup setup screen where you could select a few options for the game. So you could say, is it a competitive matchup or a friendly matchup? This would probably determine if you record the score or not. Then you could book a table, so you would see the available table there, and also the different times. So let's say you're in a big working space like we work, or even here at Adobe, the office are pretty big. Maybe you'll have like multiple tables that you could select, really similar to meeting rooms where you can book some. And then, so once you send the request matchup, then this is going to be BIM's phone. You'll get a notification that I challenge him to play. You would hit accept. And then at this point, you would be playing. You play for a while, I don't know, maybe 20 minutes. And then after the game, so we're talking about the full experience, it would like show you the score that I got my ass kicked, and it's like 11-2. And you would have some sort of advanced stats there that we can list. And then we see that BIM shared the score on the newsfeed.
Right.
So pretty simple experience, pretty seamless. So that's what we'll try to knock off today.
Awesome. And I think Mitch asked where those, that looks like they're Adobe XD sketch pages. So was there?
So I don't know where you can buy them, but someone gave those to me in a little kit here, with the wireframe kit, which I use pretty much every day, and I love it.
Yeah, the pencil kit. Yeah, so there was there's kind of like an Adobe pencil kit that's been passed out, and they put a couple pencils in there. As you said, they put in a UI stencil, so maybe that's where the pages come from. But yeah, they're around somewhere.
Cool.
Yeah, it's this swag notepad.
So on my side, I'll start to build some stuff here and try to set up some style, set up some type, and start to build some stuff over here. When I'm going to be like ready to show a specific feature, maybe I can showcase
that
the
sounds
feature.
Good. Also, for those of you just that want to take part in the challenge, we're doing a UI kit challenge with the smartwatch. And I think we have the kit it was provided by Marcel. It's actually a really, really in-depth kit, but you can access that in the challenge tab in the chat view for those of you that would like to participate. Hey, Munir. Awesome. And so, again, what Claude just kind of walked us through this very thorough. Now, do you generally sketch out things like this when you're?
Yeah,
okay,
usually.
Cool.
Maybe now I try to be good with it in straight lines.
Right.
Usually I go faster on whiteboards usually, but it helps me out to at least get the ideas out. I think anyone can come up with the biggest new software tool, but nothing beats pen and paper still.
Yeah, so Claude walked us through just a little bit of his kind of creative process, sketched out a couple of the features and flows, and then he's getting started in XD right now.
So I preloaded a lot of the different colors already in there, so it goes faster for me.
Great. And then Claude also put a request out to any of you if you'd like to work on potentially designing a logo for the app. Just send us your submissions. We'd love to see them, and then we can use it in our prototype that we're
It's
working
gonna
on
go
right now.
right there. I need a logo that's gonna be there.
Very cool. So I saw some people from Canada. I saw Go Pens from Pittsburgh.
Oh,
Somebody's
it's a good team. I like the
Penguins
pens.
fans. Yeah. And then I'd like to see if we can find a way to use XD's new feature that they released. So last time that I was on here, Paul and I were trying to work with a shared icon kit, and it looks like now we're able to actually update that vector and have it in the Adobe Cloud, and then we can share it between each of our products. And we did a little demo of that in the beginning of our session, but we can show that again for anybody else that has any questions. So Dan asked if we're sharing the library of colors. So we can absolutely share the library. And I think those were the only three constraints, Dan, was just the colors were red, blue, and white.
Yeah.
Cool. So we got Sala here. Hey, Sala. Tiana. Looks like she has a pair of XD socks.
Oh, nice.
I wonder, do we know how many foosball tables Adobe has? Just one.
Just one?
So there'd be a very, very long line at that foosball table if we made your app. So the question was Illustrator versus XD for this. So I'm assuming they're just talking about mocking up the screen right now. I'm going to say that they're kind of interchangeable at this point. Right now, drawing in circles or drawing in rounded buttons or putting in plain text, I think it's going to be about the same speed whether or not you're working in Illustrator. I think the point is within XD is as you're creating the same level quality of vector, you can connect that to a prototype pretty seamlessly. Whereas if you're working in Illustrator, you could upload it to the cloud library, and you could sync all those files, or you could drag and drop. But it seems like this is probably a little bit quicker.
I could see some people like setting their style itself, like type, color, and just arrangement, then like add it to their library, and then once they open, then they focus on creating the overall experience in there. I guess it's just a preference, but you can achieve the same task using both tools, I think, yeah.
And it looks like you're starting out with kind of a monochromatic approach right now. You've got the blue background, you've got the blue click color with the white highlight and the contrast of the button.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, we'll play around with it for sure.
Yep. No, the reason I'm pointing it out is I think sometimes it's easier when you're designing to think of things monochromatically.
Okay.
And then as you start adding in contrast levels or you start bringing in complementary colors, then you start accentuating those contrasts. But kind of, you're almost looking at it like in a black and white instance right now, just as the blue color.
All right, so this will be my newsfeed. So again, guys, I'll need a logo that go right there that says Foosball. That's the name of the app. And then from there, I'll be able to, maybe your logo will guide a bit of my style here, because usually you kind of need to be inspired by a brand itself or like a type or something, and then people will be able to.
So Kevin Worth asked in regards to features of XD, what are the features that you like?
Oh, the feature that is hands down my favorite is the repeat grid, because I'm super lazy. I'm super lazy designer, and this saves me a lot of time. So the repeat grid that I'll show that to you guys in a couple of minutes for sure.
Yeah, and for those of you, the repeat grid is it's actually we've seen it demoed quite a few times. It's probably one of my favorite features as well. But it's really useful when you're kind of doing same or similar content, like a list of podcast episodes, or it could be a group of avatars.
Yeah.
So yeah, we can definitely demo that. Kevin, what features do you like of XD? Morning, Ryan, from Canada. I was just in Canada. I was in Whistler.
Oh, nice.
Just about a week ago, doing some snowboarding.
That's cool.
It's beautiful.
So a nice feature of XD. So right now, I'm inside. So let's say I created this super fast. That I like to give a first pass and like paint with a pretty white brush of what I'm gonna do, and then over the 3 days we'll add even more and more fidelity to it. But right now, a nice feature that we could probably show. So this will be the top bar of my app here, and we'll be able to add a profile photo to the upright and maybe some sort of a hamburger menu to the left. We'll see if it works or not. But from my Creative Cloud libraries here, I have a few graphics that I've preset in there. So you can see a lot of familiar folks probably, like Paul, Michael, and Damien. But I'll add in my face in there, and then if I click and drag from here, and I just hover over the ellipse here, the circle, it's gonna magically like crop it to the circle. So again, I love XD so much because I'm such a lazy designer that it helps me achieve tasks in no time.
Yeah, I think it's funny you describe it as lazy, but I think to some regards, this is just the way that things should work also.
Efficient, yeah.
I think that it makes a lot of sense that somebody took the time to think about these interactions and deeply what kind of the expectation would be. If I do drag a square image over a round object, maybe it should just automatically mask and crop to it.
So here for usually system icons, I like to use Font Awesome. So I don't know if you guys know about that tool, but it's just maybe a quick designer tip. It's basically a font icon where you have a lot of different system icon that quickly I can grab and just bring inside my prototype here. So it works pretty well.
Cool. So Otto asked, for a first-time UX UI user, is XD a good beginner app?
Yeah, I would agree. It's really, really
Absolutely.
easy to use, and I think everyone gets that feeling of fear when you open a new app, right? Where you're like, oh shit! Like right now, my fear is After Effects. Like for a long time, I was like, oh yeah, one day I'll use it. One day I'll be able, and then you never end up using it. But I would say that Adobe XD is really, really fast and super easy to use. They rebuilt everything from the ground up to make it as simple as possible. So I would highly recommend taking your sketches to higher fidelity using XD. It's so nice.
Cool. So for Carly, in regards from switching from Illustrator to XD, I think it's just like adopting any new tool or any type of new workflow. I think it'll take a little bit of time for you to get comfortable, but Illustrator and XD are very interchangeable. They actually offer a tutorial. So when you open up XD for the first time, you'll see kind of the new window or new create template. And there's a tutorial in there that's basically touches on every feature that you'd feel that you'd need within XD, and it only takes like 5 minutes to actually go through the prototype. So that's actually where I started and found it really informative. And when I was first on the show, Carlos shared that with me and said, oh yeah, it's like 5-minute tutorial, just check it out. So it was really beneficial.
Right, so now I'm gonna build my newsfeed. So I would imagine that screen is quite similar to any sort of newsfeed, really similar to maybe a Facebook newsfeed, where it could be a mix of different type of content, just in a big digest where people could scroll. So status, maybe someone is challenging someone to play. So we'll start with that. And I'll probably add Paul in there, because I feel like he could be that guy who challenge everyone and be
the foosball challenger.
So
we're really looking forward to getting some submissions also for the smartwatch app. So I'm actually, if we want to go over to my screen, I'm still looking at the UI kit over here. There's a lot of really gorgeous colors being used in the palette. Really nice high contrast against the dark UI. We've got some charts, some graphs, progress indicators for workouts, individual play buttons. I mean, you could almost, I really like the fact that they're incorporating all the different colors on a single screen. So yeah, we're really curious just to see what everybody comes up with. Hopefully this kit makes it super easy. Thanks, Gus. We got one like for the mustache. I'm in disguise.
Oh, nice.
I'm in disguise today. So.
You should tell the story around it. It's a good story.
But yeah, so I had a beard the last time I was on the show, and then we had our company holiday party, which was 1920s, and so I ended up just kind of going for the full 1920s Great Gatsby kind of look, and it ended up sticking around. So. We'll see how it goes.
So right now I'm using that font. It's coming from actually one of my go-to font recently. We always have a few go-to fonts.
Oh yeah.
So Riff Soft. It's on Adobe Typekit as well. So I encourage you guys to go check it out. But I think it's a cool little. I've always been a fan of condensed font, and it has a bit of roundness to it. And especially that today we're doing something that's more like sports related. I think it brings some sort of a nice energy and nice style to it.
Cool. So Zarko asked a question about how we kind of handle multiple assets across the Adobe XD experience. And so they actually have an assets library that you can add colors and type styles and even button assets. And so I've definitely used that when it comes to just creating the system. It's also really helpful when it comes to if you decide you want to change the color of that system, you can kind of do that across all the screens that you have. So Anne was asking what font that was.
Which one?
Probably the one that you used for Poltron.
Riff Soft.
Riff Soft.
It's also I know Adobe XD showcase pretty often the Boosted Boards website, and they use it on that website. So that's where I found it.
Cool.
And then I saw it was in Adobe Typekit.
So yeah, we're using Adobe XD, guys. That's the tool that we've currently got Claude working in. And Adobe XD is probably one of the best, if not quickest, ways to design, prototype, and then share and publish your work. As you share, you can also have the ability to share and turn on comments. I know the last time I shared my prototype, I got a lot of great comments from everybody. And just on that note, thank you to anybody that kind of reached out after any of the sessions and talks to anybody that has kind of taken some time to share on here. It's really valuable just to hear from everybody and to kind of just hear how the work's kind of impacted. So I'm sure you'll get a lot of positive sharing after all
That's
this.
Cool. A site that I really like to use, it's Emojipedia. Do you know that site, emojipedia.org, where it's super easy to paste some like real emoji in there.
Oh, nice.
So let's say right now that Paul says, pretty sure I can beat anyone in this league, bring it. Maybe we need like some sort of a punch, and then you copy from there, and then you just bring it inside and just magically shows in there. So I think this is pretty cool.
So right now we're, for those of you that are still just coming in, the question about what program we're using Adobe XD. This is a prototyping tool for really anything, anywhere from mobile to web to tablet. There's really no limit, because what you can do is kind of just create any type of composition and then connect it into a prototype and share it.
Cool. Should we do a quick
Yeah.
quick reminder that today we're building a smart foosball table that has all the features of the future, and we're trying to build a companion app that would go along the way with it. We're talking earlier about a bunch of different features that we might try to design over the next few days, and also the different touch points that we're going to cover. So we're going to have an iPhone app that you could request your matchup and stay up to date on the latest scores. The iPad that would be mounted to the table that could have some sort of like live scoring and also replays, and also an Apple Watch that could also be used.
Yep. Yep. So Kevin mentioned that there's an Apple font that uses emojis, which is true.
Oh, yeah.
But attaching emojis in a font is, I think last time we tried that, we were still copying and pasting images. So you still need to be able to add the Adobe, the Apple font library. Yep.
So,
we're here for 90 minutes, Dan.
one thing that I like a lot
2 hours.
about Adobe XD is the different contextual layers, and also so wherever you click, your layers and artboards are gonna change on the left. So it's not overwhelming as far as like a UI. It always shows you what's important at what time you're playing with stuff. So it's something that I really appreciate about this tool.
Yep. Cool. And so you were sharing that you're kind of working on an activity feed. So
Yep.
you're using a little bit of a card metaphor to kind
Yep.
of show some meta in a conversation that's kind of tied to an author. So,
Yeah, recently I've also been a lot into fully rounded shapes. I don't know why it's, I've seen that trend coming since the last few months too, and I've been riding that trend wave too.
Right.
I don't know, what do you think about fully rounded?
Yeah,
and,
I mean,
punch?
especially in kind of the iTunes App Store experience, you're seeing a lot of rounded cars. You're seeing a lot of kind of larger use drop shadows kind of creeping back in. So, yeah, Jessica, post the link for your logo in here. Someone else also asked about constraints for the logo. So far, it's just colors, which are blue, red, and white.
You can also use the Riffsoft font. That
Yep.
could be a tip, and
Cool.
you guys can win some nice socks.
Yeah, have you guys seen these socks? I really like the bright pink color on here, actually.
So one thing that I'm thinking as far as the newsfeed is that I want to make it also actionable. So it's good to showcase information in a newsfeed, but also I want drive people to take certain actions. So right now, if Paul Tranny goes and say, pretty sure I can beat anyone in this league, as a user, when I read that, the number one thing I want to do is to go challenge Paul and see if he can stand for what he's saying. So that's what I'll try to do.
And I'm wondering if I could help out by if there's anything in this icon library that we have. I know that you grabbed the hamburger icon.
Oh yeah.
We've got some shoes over here. We've got a map pin. Let's see. Got a shopping cart profile. Could maybe use the airplane as like a send message icon.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. All right. So now I'm gonna show you guys how the repeat grid works in a bit. Just a sec.
Yeah. So somebody asked earlier what our favorite feature is of XD, and the repeat grid. Repeat grid is what kind of came back as the house favorite.
See, I'm trying to work fast. So here I'm gonna probably make some sort of a repeat grid. So here it would be probably, so another way to import different graphics in there is that you can go in your Finder. So I showed the way you can do it within the library and put the graphic in. Another thing that you can do is coming from your Finder. So I have the Adobe logo here. So the league will be at Adobe. Let's pretend that the machine is at Adobe right now, and whoops. Maybe I need to create another circle. 40 by 40. And then import from there. So now you can see that by clicking and dragging, it's there.
Lands right in there.
So we can say maybe admin just posted 8 photos. And then we're gonna show the repeat grid in there. So basically how the repeat grid works, or why it's my favorite feature, is that when you do when you create something that you want to easily repeat. So in that case, I'll do just a simple quick image gallery. So let's pretend that my photo will be in there, and maybe we can add a caption in there for the sake of showing. So let's say tournament. Tournament or something like that, and then put it small here to the right. Then so let's say those 2 elements, I want to repeat them. I would select the 2 elements here. So by clicking on that text and also the shape, I would be able to hit the repeat grid that is top right here, or hit Command R. So by doing this, I get you can see that the shape here has changed to a green shape with 2 little anchors there. And by clicking on those, would you say it's an anchor? It's not an anchor, right? It's a handle, maybe?
Yeah, it's a handle.
Handle.
Or
so
grabber.
by clicking on this, you can magically see that it starts to repeat the content that I have pre-selection. Another thing that is cool there, so maybe I'm not satisfied by the padding in between, I can go ahead and on hover here, you can see the purple pinkish shape that I can click and adjust to have the desired padding that I want to have. So right now you can see that it starts to make sense. And the magic doesn't stop here. Let's say I would want more photos in there. I would click and drag from here, and you can do it horizontally or vertically, and then have your content in there.
Yep. Yeah, and then if you wanted to populate each of those containers,
Yeah, even
images,
more magic
more
coming
magic.
in. So let's say I have a few images here from Adobe stock that I took last night. I want to populate the content in here. So I see those beautiful photos of people playing on foosball machine. So if I select all of those from my Finder and click and drag and hover on top of the first square, I can see already where it's going to affect. So by dropping here, I can magically see that, you know, the content is all populated. And like I said earlier, I'm a really lazy designer, and I remember those days when you were designing mobile design in Photoshop, where you could almost like need to like one by one go mask it out and all of that time. And now I'm just saving a lot of time. And I still say to my boss that, hey boss, it's gonna take a lot of time, and not showing them the feature. So that's the trick here. So then I could still go ahead and change the content in here. So let's say here we can say, I don't know, close up or like goal or something, and then say fun, and then say defense. Say something like team, or like marketing team. Focus happy hour. So you can see that I populate the different things here, the different photos, by changing the caption under. To me right now, the text feels a bit big for caption, and maybe we can use a different typeface for that. So just to show you guys that once you're in the repeat grid, so you can see here top left, that everything that I'm changing in there will affect the rest of the grid. So if I click the goal here and I go and change the font to circular, and then I can bring it, you can see that it affects everywhere. And then if I move elements, it moves it everywhere too, without touching the structure that much.
Awesome.
So that's my, oh yeah, typo, just fix it. Thank you, Vanessa. Got it. So yeah, so that's how you could use a repeat grid if you want. In our case today, I'm gonna do only one row here and probably get rid of the caption. It was more to showcase you guys, and then extend the grid over here, and probably try to add some sort of a shape here with a gradient that would, like, you know, make it fade away.
Cool. Awesome. And then make sure you guys have checked out the challenge tab also. I think probably in the next couple minutes, or maybe in the next 10 minutes, we can start to pull up some of the submissions, if we have any, to kind of check out the smartwatch submissions. I'm also looking forward to seeing some of the logo submissions. I saw a couple links posted in here. See if I can, haven't been able to get this one to open up yet though.
So no logo so far? Guys,
I think
we need a logo here. The logo will be right here.
Let's see. There we go. Got some logos. See if I can open this one up. Oh, nice. Let's see if I'll load a couple of these up in the background, and then we can switch over to the screen.
Order, then get. So here, it's going with a fully rounded look here. So I'll try to speed up.
Alrighty, so we got a couple logos over here.
That looks cool.
This submission looks like it's from Hafida. I have to correct me if I totally butchered that. So this is cool. We're kind of seeing a little implied foosball character through kind of the simple shapes, which is really creative. I think that's really cool.
Respect
Kinda
the
simplifying.
constraints too, so that's good.
Yeah, we've got all the constraint colors here. We've got the red, the white, and the blue. Let's go and look at another one. This one's Lindsay. Looks like we've got a Star Trek. Almost looks like a Star Trek jersey, but I think that they're definitely going for the foosball look. And this looks like it's got kind of the implied motion that's coming out from the side. Let's see. Zoom out of this one a little bit.
You can talk about the red color, what it does on the screen. Look at the feedback.
Oh my god, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Let me get a concept artist here.
Avoid the red color.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe the red's a little bit too bright as it's kind of creating all kinds of feedback on the screen. Yeah, look at that. Oh, wow. It's almost like they used the CMYK or like the system red there that's showing up. I don't know if you guys can see that on the screen. And this one by Chris Place, basically just going kind of like with a word mark with the Foosball logo.
Oh, that's cool. I like
Pixelation
it.
looks a lot of fun.
I think I really like the kind of the arcade look that it has too.
Yeah, it's got
That's
a little
pretty cool.
8-bit look. Very cool. So what do you think? Any of these?
I
wanna
would
move
probably. This one's kind of cool. It has like all the colors in it too.
Yep.
Do you have any ideas too?
We can see if we can get a couple more submissions, and then if not, we'll just make the call.
Cool.
Alrighty, hey Will, Christine. Yep, I agree. Logo 1. Sounds like it's definitely a fan favorite so far. So also if you're just joining the session, we've got Claude Piché here, fresh from San Diego, which is I think where it's a little bit warmer than right now. And Claude's working on a foosball app, and so basically this is a companion app that you would use in your large company or large organization, or if you're a competitive foosballer. And right now he's working on an activity screen. And Claude kind of took us through in the beginning a little bit of his sketches and his process, which helps him to kind of lay out his body of work. Right, yeah, so we've got some great sketches up here. Honestly, like, one of the best ways to move through any type of product design, visual design, is just to start on pen and paper. So.
Right.
Righty.
So here in the newsfeed, I'll just add in a score here. So, are you good at foosball?
I don't think so.
You don't think so? So we're gonna have.
I think like what is it? Ski hockey or table hockey?
This is fun. Yeah.
Yeah, way better at table hockey than foosball. That's for sure.
Michael, are you good at foosball? Yeah. All right. Michael is gonna have 10, and maybe.
He looks like a serious foosball player.
And then we'll bring Mark in there. Sorry, Mark.
I lost. Yeah, so makes sense.
All right. So one thing that I'll show in a second is how to create a symbol. Usually in app design and also just product design, you're going to repeat a lot of the same elements. So you want to keep them in a symbol so that it's something that you can apply on a lot of artboards through the experience. So that's what we'll create in a bit. So right now I'm going to do this for my bottom navigation here that I'm probably going to repeat through the app.
Okay, cool. Let's see if I can...
So I added the Adobe logo here at the top because once you're in the app, then you want to have some sort of a white label look where it's branded as the league. So you created a league and you add it in there, and then the logo is just when you launch the app. So
Awesome. So little personalization.
yeah. So Adobe could customize their league. Maybe it's similar to, maybe as the end user, it's really similar to Slack where you join a team. So you download the app for the first time, you join a team, then you get accepted in there.
Right.
So now you're part of that small foosball community.
Okay, cool. So we have a question about, are the symbols scalable on different artboards?
What do you mean by scalable?
So I'm assuming that if you're using like an avatar, can you scale it differently between the different artboards?
Yeah, you can.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool. So we've got another 30 minutes to submit your challenges for the smartwatch challenge. And we have a really awesome UI kit that's over here. You can download this. This was provided by Marcel. Again, a lot of really juicy content over here. Really bright colors, beautiful interfaces. So there's a lot to pick from. It's good to try to show a little bit of a flow, at least maybe 3 screens, I think, in your experience. But yeah, just kind of let us know. Try to paint the picture of what you're thinking for your product.
Cool. All right, so it starts to look like something, I guess. Right. Play in there. So again, guys, I'm using the font Awesome here. It's really easy to use. Type in play, copy from here, if I can do it, yeah. And then paste here and select my font.
Okay.
Cool.
Lindsay's asking for a little bit of critique on her logo. Cool. So, Lindsay, I have your logo up on the screen. I think overall, like it's a really good approach to conveying the foosball character. I think in regards to the constraints, we were looking for red, white, and blue. So I don't know about the introduction of black in there, but maybe if you were to kind of had used the black as like a white or a void, that would have kind of checked off just the constraint box. But yeah, overall, I mean, I think the shape and the conveyance of the character and what you're showing here really works. I think we'll just have to kind of put it to a vote and see what are some of the other submissions look like. We do have 2 other new submissions. So this one from Lorenzo. Cool. This is the Foosball Pro. That one's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I like the motion behind the soccer ball. I like how they're slanting the font also to kind of go into the way of the direction of the ball. And this is another submission from Jessica. This one's a lot of fun.
Oh my
also
god,
kind of shows.
That's the brawl. You can see the emotion here and the characters. It's a full brawl.
Yep. Yeah. This one's a lot of fun. Thanks for your submission, guys.
Right. Whoops. so now I'm building my bottom navigation. Guys, it's gonna be way faster once I set all my base, then we're gonna rock and roll and go really fast.
Alrighty, let's see, we got one more submission. Maybe we can take a minute and also just select a logo, so I can help pull this over into your
that's pretty cool.
login experience. Yeah, so this is from
Pretty
Ashish.
simple.
So what do you like about it?
I really like the simplicity of it.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need to overthink anything. I think it could already fit. I can see it as a nap icon.
An app icon.
It's really simple. One thing I would probably add under it's like the foosball, type under, just to add a bit. But yeah, do we want to go over each and select one?
Yeah, let's go and review them. So we've got a submission from Lorenzo.
Cool. Like the swoosh here.
We've got Ashish, which we just discussed. And this is from Hafida.
Cool.
I think this was one of the very first
Yeah.
submissions that we had in there. We've got Lindsay's, which we talked about.
Yeah.
That
one.
Yeah, that
This
one.
is pretty cool too.
We've got Chris Place's submission. Okay, we've got a double up of Lorenzo, and then we have Jessica's.
Cool. I might go with the first one. Not this one. Not this one. This one, I think.
Hafida's. Okay, cool.
In terms of speed of execution and sending pretty fast, I also like the fact that she provided different logo state, like use on different background colors. So I think it's pretty cool.
Cool. Yeah, there's a lot to choose from here, so I think we can also, so we can download this.
Cool. Right.
And I'll, in the backgrounds, I'll try to put that in the cloud library.
Oh yeah,
for us.
perfect. What did I have? Right, guys. So, wow, 2 screens so far. Not moving pretty fast, but trust me, guys, it's gonna go way faster in a bit. And I'll show you a bit of prototyping as well, and also more and more stuff. But this time I have 3 days to finish the app. Usually on the past recordings and live stream, I did an app a day. That was kind of crazy. So over the week we'll add a bit more polish.
Yeah, I mean, we've still got another hour, so I think that, you know, just in regards to pace, you're moving along just fine. We've got the activity feed. I know you kind of set some expectations on some of the other screens you wanted to accomplish, but yeah, no, it's all good. And there are two more days and 2 more sessions to kind of move through this.
So yeah, we were talking earlier about crazy features like live replay. If the table would have some sort of a camera, then we could have like a haptic feedback on your watch that when the score is super tight starts to vibrate and make you feel the pressure. Have some sort of achievements that you can unlock too, so to gamify a game. So yeah.
Alrighty, so I think it's time to give the socks away.
Sweet.
And I think these were these for the logo submission, or is this just any random?
This would be random.
Okay.
You just have to send me each other.
Okay. Cool. So let's see. I just want to make sure. Did we already select a winner for us?
No.
Okay, cool. So I get to pick.
Yeah. No, we will pick for you.
Okay. All right, so we're going to be giving away the socks. And we're going to be picking a random winner. We've got these XD socks here. We've talked about them a couple times. Sean says he needs some socks because his feet are cold today.
Nice.
Sean, you should already have socks on if it's that cold. So just make sure you're taking care of yourself.
Just need to sign in on the ends and say something.
Okay, awesome. So we're going to start the competition for the socks. Just make sure you're signed in. Make sure you say something about your socks or our socks or potentially anything else that you'd like to share. You can even put a socks emoji in there.
All right.
Ryan says he's got some weird toes to cover up.
Right. So now that I'm happy with my bottom navigation, I can show you guys how to create a symbol in here. So a symbol is pretty much an element or like some sort of like components that you can use through your design. So right now I have everything in my bottom navigation selected. And once I select everything, I can go bottom left here and switch from layers to assets. And then in there you'll see symbols here. So by clicking the little plus button, and I think it's Command K, yeah. So hitting Command K will add in that symbol. So now I can click and drag and use that element through my app. So one thing to know about symbols too is that once you change something in a symbol, it will affect it everywhere in your different artboards. So let's say towards the end, I don't like the blue, red, and white anymore, and I want to do a black and yellow concept, which has like, you know, a lot like strong colors, black and yellow. I could change it and it would affect everywhere. Another thing that you can do too to help you out move pretty fast and iterate and also have different concepts really quickly is that you can, from your libraries, you can change the color in there too. Oh, but I didn't set my colors. Oh yeah, yeah, right there. So if I would change, can I change it from there? I don't think you can. I think I need to add it to my colors here first. Do you know that?
Sorry? Changing the color from your library. So you want to actually make sure your colors are already in your asset library.
In the asset, so which I didn't do, but I can.
If you select your play button, that should transfer the red and the blue. Yep, and then just add color.
Color, perfect, and then the color of the blue there.
Looks like the white may already be in there as well.
And then if I change it, then it should affect everywhere. So you can see that we can quickly test out different colors in there and affect every artboard. It's even more impressive when you have a lot of different artboards and then you can really test it out and then propose different directions to a client. Maybe they don't like red, white, and blue and they hate the Montreal Canadiens. Maybe they want something else.
Alrighty, and we do have our winner for these XD socks. We've got Jaron Robman. Jaron Robman, you get these fresh pair. They're clean. They are clean. Yeah, you get this fresh pair of Adobe XD socks. We'll send them out to you. Thanks so much for signing in and having a conversation and just sharing about the clean socks. So congratulations, Jaron, and thank you for everybody else also that was blowing up about the socks. I hope those of you aren't still barefoot walking around the office, as Sean mentioned earlier.
So one thing I want to do here.
Seeing everybody's congratulating Jaron for winning. It's
good job.
So
Such
awesome
nice
about
people.
this community.
Yeah. All right. So now, one thing I want to test out. So one effect that I really like too, that's another feature I want to show you guys, is the background blur effect. So you want to try to simulate an interaction here. you would add a shape on top of your content here and make sure that your bottom navigation is on top of it, and then hit the background blur here, right? And then it would blur out your background, so you can create some sort of, like, try to mimic the effect of when you tap and then it blurs out the background, and we'll add in later on our menu popping up from the bottom here. So it just gives you like really looks like a flyout menu that we can integrate in the app.
Yeah, I think those are kind of referred to as a sheet or an action sheet.
Action sheet, okay, cool. So I want to have it dark here.
So Rajan, yeah, we gave away a pair of socks. Jerome was our winner. So if you tune in tomorrow, I think we'll be giving away another pair of socks, another clean pair. Well done, sock man. Awesome. And while you're working on your action sheet over there, we've got our first submission for the smartwatch challenge.
Nice.
So first in here, this is looks like we've got a start running app. It's called Fit.io. This is looking nice. Oh, cool. So we got a progress meter, kind of tracking your total distance. We've got a heart tracker. Back to run tracker, and then kind of okay, cool. So it sounds like each of these main like call to actions are then taking you to the next subsequent screen. So yeah, so we got the prototype going. Click on the heartbeat monitor, track the heartbeat monitor, then we can go to the tracker. Cool, awesome. Thanks,
Right.
Gershon. Great submission.
So another way to use the repeat grid would be to create the different matchup option here. So it could be, what did I say earlier? It would be play a friend. So maybe in that case you would like type in if you know the tag of the friend. So I tap in Mark and then you pop up and then I can send you. Then the same division matchup is probably one of my favorite, is where you want to play with people your level and also completely random, so you could play against a foosball guru or just like a complete beginner. So this is maybe dangerous. So here,
So one of the things I also wanted to just share real quick, I know we talked about this briefly in the beginning, and so XD recently had an update across using vector images and vector icons being shared across the Adobe Creative Cloud. And so what I've done is we already have an icon library that's provided by Anton and Irene. And what I wanted to do was take the previous submission of logo that we had that were the winners and just drag a couple examples in there just so they could quickly show up.
Yeah, let's do this.
In XD. So I've dragged in a couple icon examples. And then it looks like they're already showing up in your Creative Cloud library.
Cool. So I would click and drag here. It's blurry. Wait, it's syncing still. You can see
It's thinking.
It's a new feature from today, guys. So gotta be And one thing we'll probably try is how could we like knock out like the blue and have like the white maybe in there? Something we can try and then show
I can definitely
live where we can
edit some of the colors. But so one of the things that this is really helpful is, you know, as you're kind of working in the vector icons, if you were able to make an update to the colors, or you were to change even like corner radiuses or anything, it's going to update on a systems level, and so everybody that's kind of using that shared library is going to get those updates.
Maybe should I remove
Yeah,
it?
we can also let it hang out and wait and move on to some of the other screens. I can also just get an idea of what the scale is of some of these.
God, I like that repeat grid. It's so easy. Right, I'm gonna do.
Let's see. Don't rasterize. Great. Let's see.
Order. See again with the repeat grid, I can easily change everything. All right. Any my layers. So another thing that is pretty interesting and something that I like a lot about XD is that I can bring pretty much everything inside of a single XD files. I think Damien or Paul showed some performance being really fast when you pinch out, pinch back, and zoom. It's super fast. So maybe a strategist or a PM could open XD, write the brief for you, add in some requirements, some features, and then a UX person could add them their sketches in there, and maybe the visual designer comes inside and everyone works in one file. I think it works pretty well. You don't have to jump from Keynote to a spreadsheet to, yeah, maybe sometimes you'll have to do it, but
Right.
I think on like quick projects, and again, I've used XD pretty often at work just to knock out some really quick design, move from sketches to pixel really fast, and XD has been so far the best software for me to use.
Yeah, it's definitely extremely efficient in just
Yeah.
getting the prototypes really quickly. I did update the logo for you,
Okay,
just to
nice.
see if we can
Cool.
play with the negative space a little bit. I think it's
Nice.
you were requesting. Should have synced over there. Scroll down.
Should
maybe.
I?
Is it bottom? No.
Should I quit it maybe and reopen XD?
Probably
Am
just.
I ready?
This was in Anton and Irene. We added another logo in there. Okay. We can. It's all good. We can figure it out. Cool. So I think we also have just another 15-20 minutes until we're going to be choosing the final contest winner for the smartwatch. So right now we've got a couple submissions. We're looking forward to seeing a bit more from you. We do have a UI kit library that's really awesome, that's provided, which you guys can find and download in the challenge link. Oh, cool. So we got the update. And the other one, I added the white
perfect.
space and
Nice. So we can test out that. This I think too with the, let's say we would put that type white could be cool, and we can test this out too.
so now we
That's
can
pretty cool.
play with the negative space there.
Yeah. Then maybe I'll just add in Foosball. Right.
So Christian asked if you replace the logo once, does it change all the logos globally?
Yeah.
Yep, that's the idea, is that it should be done across the entire creative library.
Do we want to, let's say you put, I don't know, you replace the red by a green.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we can see how it affects everywhere, just to show.
Yep, we can enter in another color in here.
We'll see, it's going to think and then change everywhere.
Yep, should see it. And the same rules should apply if you're overwriting it, Christian.
See, get updated, everything.
Yep, got it.
Oh, hi Orville. Orville's a next coworker of mine. We call him Coach, because he's a coach.
That's awesome.
Coach, my coach.
All right, so we've
Cool.
got
I like that, actually. It's kind of cool with that shade of blue too, right?
You're coming out of your own constraints now.
Well, you know, you gotta break
Just
the rules.
iterating. Yeah. Okay,
right.
so we've got a couple screens. It looks like we've got a simple login screen. We've got an activity feed, and then you were showing kind of the select a matchup
Yeah,
action sheet.
maybe we can prototype just a bit to show those three screens right now. So the way to prototype in XD is pretty simple. I'm just gonna get rid of that right now. So basically right now on my home screen, I would like to hit the button Continuous Picho here and access the app. So by switching from design to prototype here at the top left, I'm now in a different mode of the app. So now everything I select becomes like some sort of hotspots that I can control and trigger some different actions. So by clicking on the main CTA here, Continuous Picho, I can see that little arrow here, that handle.
Yep.
And then by clicking and drag, you can see that now I have a big curved line. And basically this will be my target destination. So here, and then on release, I get a little pop-up menu that says the target will be the newsfeed. So I'm happy with that. The transition will be a dissolve for now. We'll test it out, but I think we can do multiple things here. And then the easing will be ease out. By the way, quick question for you.
Sure.
Have you ever knew what's ease out, ease in and out, all of that? Do you know the
Like
the
what the differences
the small
are?
difference between?
I know that if you're thinking of motion along a curve,
Yeah.
I think that the curves are inverted. But I couldn't tell you exactly what the differences
Okay.
are going to be visually. But I know that in implementation, that if you're thinking of motion of coming in on a
Speed.
curvature and the speed and transition in and out, ease out and ease in are basically inverted.
Yeah.
Those, yeah.
Cool. Always knew that like it's some sort of like slow fast.
Yep.
But then like what's the difference like between the ease in and ease out? Then I never knew about that. But you know, you test it out, you pick your favorite.
Yeah,
and it works.
that's definitely the approach. So we've got 8 more minutes to get all the challenges in for everybody competing for the Smart UI challenge.
So now
Smart Watch UI challenge.
I just did my first interaction by clicking on the Continuous Picho. To test out if it worked, I can go hit the play button here, top right, and then you can see that you have a little window here that is actually a live preview of what you're doing. So again, let's pretend that you're opening the app here and then you land on that home screen. You click Continuous Picho, then it takes you inside the app. So it did a quick fade in with a lot of ease in and out. And yeah, so we can probably try something else. Let's try a maybe push up. And then by clicking here, maybe we can do something like that. So I know that XD will do even more improvement on prototype over the next year, so that will be pretty cool, because I think a lot of the different features are coming from the community. People are sending some feature requests, and that's one of the number one thing I like about XD2 is that they listen to their users.
Yeah.
So guys, if you have like any feedback to give to XD, just go ahead, post in the forum, and then those features get upvoted. The most vote on a feature will be guiding the XD team to build the roadmap. So that's pretty cool.
There's also an Adobe XD user voice where you can actually submit a ticket for
Cool.
anything. You can do that through XD as well, through feedback. But yeah, absolutely. If you guys have any ideas or suggestions, absolutely share them. Working on the cloud means that things can kind of show up really, really quick in regular releases, which is really incredible. And so also we've got Claude here with us today for those of you that are just joining in, and we're working on a Foosball companion app, which if you're working for a large organization and you're feeling a little bit competitive, you can kind of download this app and you can use it to create new games or create new competitions or tournaments with other foosballers in your company. Yep, Demontis Material does a really good job at explaining the ease in and outs of motion.
Oh, cool.
Cool. So you're looks like we got a prototype kind of button up, and so for me, this is a huge improvement in the workflow to be able to interchange on kind of a tab navigation to go in from I'm designing and I'm working with shapes and color and font to then, okay, now I can just connect this into a live prototype.
Yeah.
And the fact that you're kind of able to make shapes or icons or anything clickable just seems like a huge improvement in the workflow to just quickly use what's available and what you're designing as the high fidelity, and then connect it in a prototype.
As far as workflow, super efficient. Other apps you need to, I don't know if we can say the names, but like there's other apps that you need to like export your JPEGs, upload your JPEGs, click and drag to create your hotspots, then connect them together. It gets a little jarring and a little long to do, but again, to test out something super quick in XD and just shift from design to prototype, like you said, it's just really well done.
Totally. Yep, there's a couple minutes left to get your final submissions in for the smartwatch challenge. Looking forward to seeing your submission, Lindsay. Yeah, it's somewhat, let's see, Stephanie mentioned it's really great to share your workflow, which I think is kind of one of the huge benefits also of just having these types of sessions is you get a little bit of a view into how someone else works and how they think about doing their work, and mainly how they go from kind of concept into reality as well. Let's see.
All right, so if we go back to our sketches here, we're following the story where you open an app, you can see some sort of a news feed, you can get your updates. By our big, deep research, we highly believe that hitting the play button is the main action people want to do at this point, because you want to play the game. By hitting the play button, you'll get that, how do you say that, action sheet?
Action sheet, yep.
That's a new term that for me, that's good. And then it would somehow, I added a state here with like, it would scan for people, your level, and then propose you a few matchups option for you. So the next screen that we'll do is around selecting the player you want to play against.
Cool, and you're showing kind of like a progress or a loading state here.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a little scrappy right now. We'll get more details coming in. I try to map it out kind of fast, and then we'll adjust during the 3 days.
Cool. So this is probably a good time to take a look at some of the submissions also
Yeah,
that
let's
we
do
have
it.
for the smartwatch.
Yeah.
That way we can give everybody your undivided attention.
Yeah, for sure.
So I think we've already looked at the first submission, which was by Gershon. So this one,
So that's a tracker, right?
yes. So
Cool.
this is it looks like a smart or Fit.io. He's named it.
Nice.
It's a running app, and so they've got
Start
everything
running.
linked up into the prototype here. We've got progress and the distance coverage. We'll show the heart tracker.
That's pretty cool.
So yeah, really nice use of colors. Also
Are you
just
a gradient fan?
thinking about the journey. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why not?
Why not?
Gradients are kind of coming
YOLO.
back. Okay, we've got submission 2.
Whoa, that's a fancy watch. What is that? I like that. That's pretty clever.
So it looks like somebody
Okay.
created a game here called Tap Dot.
That's
And
cool.
it looked like I was just chasing the cursor around.
You got trapped in it, right?
Yeah, it was very
Oh,
cool.
nice. You select the color of your dot. Wow, there's a lot of details in there.
Speed, activity, sensitivity. Awesome.
I mean, it's a game it's a good wasting time game. You know, when you wait for the metro or be on the bus. You
Yeah,
just
this is-
tap on. You know, who needs to read books anymore when you have that game?
It's funny because I like the fact of how they're having you kind of trace through the cursor and how it's jumping through the screens.
Yeah.
It makes it feel kind of like a connected experience. Okay, so we've got someone's looking for love. So find people
Okay.
around you. So let's start. Show me. All right, let's just make sure. I'm terrified clicking into this, making sure it's PC. So, okay.
Okay, she's a little far.
Up.
Oh no.
Got Anna. All right, it's
Woo!
a match. Cool. Somebody
So
found
Tinder
love.
for watch. Perfect.
Date her now sounds a little presumptuous. Maybe just start with a conversation, but you can see how it goes.
Hello would work.
Cool. Let's look at our next submission. So Starman. This looks like
Whoa.
a SpaceX
SpaceX.
theme. Very cool. Navigate to Mars.
Ooh.
Take a roundabout Earth. Why not? I mean, we're almost there. This is great. Cool. See a flight summary.
Wow, you can visit multiple planets.
Awesome.
And you go in. That's pretty cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alrighty, is that all the submissions we have, or do we have? So we have 4. Okay. Cool.
Yeah,
Would we like to look at more submissions, and then we can cast the final vote? I'm gonna open up these other submissions here.
So here. So here we have title.
Okay. Alrighty.
We have more.
Yep, we've got a couple more, so let's just take a quick look at these awesome submissions here. We've got Chandra's on
that's
display.
cool.
Awesome. So it looks like we're looking at a kind of looks like a I guess contact list or maybe communication. So it looks like we've got some chats.
Okay.
Looks like an overall feed. We've got some contacts here. Really nice use of color corollary to the buttons and the actions.
Yeah.
Got some news. Wow, this is great. Okay,
Good job, guys. That's cool.
Chandra. We've looked at the
This one.
Starman.
Whoa.
Here we've got another submission.
Looks like
So this looks like a
kind of a compass or like
like a movement tracker.
movement
maybe.
tracker.
You are here. Restart. Share. This one might have to refresh here. And then we've got another submission. So this looks like a
Weather app.
weather app. Tap on the little
Ooh.
page navigation pieces here. Yep. So it looks like
That's cool.
got some rain in the forecast. Got some sunny weather. Showing the graph of just the overall progress
Yeah,
from the weather
that's
throughout the
pretty
day.
cool.
And then
Ooh.
history pins.
Wow.
Got some quotes. Stumbling is not falling. That's great. So like a little motivational
Yeah.
experience on your watch each day. That could be great.
When you're depressed. just a quick.
I just think as often reminders too.
Yeah.
Don't have to be depressed. Okay, cool. So we've got some great submissions here. We've got Starman. We've got Chandra's kind of like activity update. What's going on? We've got the Looking for Love, or Finding Love app. We've got the fun game that we played,
Oh yeah, that game is.
and then we've got Fit.io.
Do you have a personal favorite or?
Yeah, I've got a couple favorites here, but
Nice.
this is your call, so
Okay.
I'll let you.
I'm gonna go with that Navigate to Mars.
Okay. Awesome.
I think it's pretty cool.
So that's for Vishwesh. Thanks for.
Good content, good photos. You can get information about the different planets.
Yeah, I
I
think.
mean, a watch is already like when you wear a watch, you feel kind of futuristic, and then you go with the SpaceX, and I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think it's fun.
Yeah, Rocky. That's Rocky Rourke. You know Rocky?
I do not know Rocky.
Amazing illustrator. He's been live with Adobe too. Used to work with him. Awesome dude. Does a lot of good videos.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this app is. This screen right here is compositionally. It's just. I think it's a lot of fun. The amount of content that they're putting on into the watch experience, and yeah, why not? It's fun to think about traveling to Mars. So congrats, Vishwesh. Thanks for submitting. Thanks to all that submitted your ideas. I know it's a pretty quick turnaround time, but hopefully the UI kit helped you out.
Yeah.
And then we'll look forward to our competition tomorrow.
You could easily imagine a lot of different subtle transition, like the planet fading in the back, the title on top. That could be kind of cool.
Very cool. Awesome. So how are we doing over here?
I think we're pretty good. Again, I think maybe I overcommitted on some stuff, but we're gonna speed up along the week.
Okay.
But to me, we kind of have our base here set up, so it's pretty cool. It's not perfect. I don't think the goal is to be perfect at this point. Again, at this point, it's to validate our concept. That concept came up from a conversation at the bar with my friend Brian Bimschlager. They work and they have a really crazy foosball league that involves a lot of different tools and like type form and tracking the scores and all of that. And now we're trying to simplify their experience by having just everything that would like do it by itself seamlessly. And then so we're building that app right now where you can play against different people here. And then at this point, we're almost to the point where we can select an opponent that we want to play against. And I'll probably probably end this session here by doing one last repeat grid by doing the different player cards here. So I'll just work on that right now.
Okay, great. Yep, and so we've got Claude here. Claude's sharing his Foosball app in Adobe XD. And for those of you that are joining us today, we look forward to seeing you tomorrow as well. We're going to be here for the next couple days with Claude, making this amazing Foosball app. I think we're probably going to take it to the full experience that you've outlined in the sketches.
It's a big fail.
So yeah, we've got some comments on just kind of seeing your workflow. It's really helpful to see your sketches attached to the top of the board as well, just because you can, sometimes when we work in these tools, we can get a little bit embedded into the details.
Yeah.
And so I think sometimes it's really important, as even when we started the logo challenge and we set some constraints, and I saw some comments about people saying that maybe they haven't sketched in a long time. When you sketch, you are basically setting your own constraints and kind of committing to ideas early on, which is okay. But by putting them in your workflow and referring back to them, it kind of helps you navigate whether or not you get a little bit too heads down in some of the details. And sometimes you can remind yourself, like, oh yeah, by the way, I still have these other 6 screens, as Claude is definitely feeling. But it's a good way just to come back and ground yourself and say, okay, yep, this is the expectation I set for myself. I'm focusing a little too much on these drop shadows or these button details. I'm going to kind of move on and kind of hit, as you mentioned, broad strokes, or kind of painting the big picture early on. And thanks to Lindsay, thanks to Chandra, thanks to everybody that submitted ideas. Tomorrow's another opportunity to look at the new UI kit that we're going to be sharing and the new project. And then we'll have our challenge tomorrow and we'll be picking new winners.
And by the way, guys, if you guys have any ideas of some sort of features that we didn't cover in that app, or let's imagine that you guys were building that app right now, what type of features that you would like to see in a smart foosball table app, that could be kind of cool. Knowing that the piece of hardware, you have sensors on the players, you would have a video camera that could film the whole thing, bunch of cool little stuff. So more than welcome to hear your ideas on it.
Yeah, and I think I saw, so we've got Jeannie and Danielle coming up next also. And I think Jeannie is a designer at Behance.
Oh, nice.
Which is going to be awesome. So Jim's asking about keeping the score.
Keeping the score, that's cool.
And I think you showed that in kind of like an iPad that was attached to the table, maybe.
Oh yeah, that's what we want to do. So we're leveraging different touch points. So the iPhone, the iPad that could be mounted on the table. We were talking earlier too about having your if you win, you have your song coming in from Spotify. Bunch of cool features that we could leverage. Yep. So Braden is saying, what if you have a ping pong table? Well, that's another project, Braden. Thank you. But maybe we could have some sort of company that would do the app, taking the same concepts but applying to different hardware. Maybe that could work. I don't know.
Awesome. Do you know what your song would be?
My song would be, that's a good question. Probably some AC/DC or something like that. Yeah, something pretty.
Thunderstruck.
Maybe.
Yeah. Cool.
Alright, so we have different players here in cards, so let's do it pretty quick. So again, the repeater grid is really useful to save time. By selecting all those different elements, you hit the repeat grid, then you could create multiple cards in a really fast way. We're gonna add Lee in there. Cooper, I think, yeah. She's really good, level 9.
Whoa.
And then Paul Tranny. And maybe we can put Damien. We saw Paul already. And then
And so this is after you've decided that you want to play.
Yeah, this is a same division matchup. So you
Okay.
hit save division matchup, then it does kind of a scan. It knows your stats. Then it just proposes you 3 players. Then by tapping on one of those players, you would select the match setup. You want a competition match. You want a friendly match. You book a certain table, because this is pretty often the case. The problem booking the tables are,
That's
when
the main pain point.
you're at work and then you want you want to go play, have a little break, then you ask your friend, and then you walk maybe a few stairs down, then you see there's people playing already. So what if you could book the table before and no one could play, if you have it booked? Big pain point.
So got some positives, some high fives from Simon over here saying great job, really interested in the app.
Cool. Thank you, Simon.
Claudia likes the prototype. Yeah, I think it's great in just kind of where we came from, kind of the original screen to now, as you start getting deeper and deeper into the experience, and also if you want to start taking existing components, you can start taking a card that you used over here, and you'll start moving faster and faster as you start building this momentum.
Oh yeah, exactly. When you start from a blank screen and you have no type set up, basically no colors, no style, for sure it takes a bit of time to set the ground, and then once you're good with it, and again, we didn't spend that much time, and it's something that I would probably revise a few of the visual elements here, but at least it gets us going somewhere, and you don't stop. Then you can always adjust. Again, my process is really crash and fail and not 100% sure of everything, but done is better than perfect to me. So
I agree. Yeah, it's always good to just get something out there, and then
rip it out. People, I can probably share the prototype, the progress of my prototype. Maybe that's something that we can do right now.
I think that's great.
I can get some of your feedback in here. I encourage you guys to just go put feedback in there and help me out building that prototype. I'm a big believer that good design comes from multiple opinions. So sharing your work and be open to the feedback is really good. So I'll share my prototype, and that's maybe another way for you guys to be, you'll know how to share it later on. But basically top right here, it's the sharing icon here. You can publish your prototype, and there's even new features that I just saw for the first time too. Just shows how XD moves pretty fast, but you can publish your design specs, and maybe a dev will check it out. So publish a prototype, and then we're gonna call it Foosball Pro. Did I put it in one word? And then allow the comments, and then create a public link. So as I click the create public link, then it's gonna create me a link that you guys will all be able to access and comment in there. So I guess I need to share it with you? No. Or,
I think we can probably, maybe afterwards, we can put it in the chat. Later. Yeah, sometimes when I've done a live session, I'll go back in to the Behance chat, and I'll just chat with people and kind of share links in there.
So I also showed a few prototype here during the session, but I'll show even more. One thing that I like to do a lot when I work with my team is that I go pretty fast. I do maybe a few screens to get the overall concept out. Then I press play here, and then one thing that I like to do is to record myself, so it gives a really nice feeling of what you're doing right now. So for example, I just work on that, and I want to show a quick iteration or progress towards the end of the day to someone.
If you can either full screen it here, or you could view it in the browser link, but if you hit the plus button there, that way we can just get like the full experience.
And then I could do continuous Picho, hit the play button, same division matchup. It's going to scan for opponents, and then it would bring you to the next screen. So that's pretty much the way you do it. you can hit the record too, which I think is pretty cool. Wait, not right now. I'll start from the. So if you start here, you can do record, and then you can see that you have a little cursor, like a finger cursor.
Yeah, which is, I think you can also hide that also if you wanted to in the settings.
And then you do continue. You see the news feed. Paul Tranny's calling everyone out. Thinks he's really good. Then you see the system that posted the photos, maybe a latest tournament. You can see that Michael beat you pretty bad.
It was very bad.
You know,
it's okay. I'm not very good.
It's okay. And then you hit play. It's all right. I'm gonna play matchup. And then once you click again the record button, then you can save a file. So you can say progress day 1, maybe save it to your desktop, and then you can probably share that within Slack or anything. It just shows really quick to show the progress to people, gather some feedback, and improve. Make it better every day. So.
Yeah, and the videos are really nice to share. You know, whether you're using some type of tool like Slack or something like Stride to talk to your teammates, you can use that to drop in a video, and it allows everybody to kind of quickly see the demo. Sometimes it's really beneficial to share the prototype. I've also gotten in the habit of using GIFs. So if you take it in Photoshop, you can actually resave the video as a GIF and then export it as a GIF, and that way it embeds as the image that's playing. And that way people don't need to click anything or navigate out of the product. They just kind of say, oh, okay, yeah, I saw everything that you're doing. And it's a really good way to just share your progress.
Nice.
Cool. So great progress today.
Thank you.
What are you thinking about for tomorrow?
Tomorrow? So I think we're going to pursue and try to knock out way more screens. I think right now I'm probably 70% done with that. We were talking earlier when we opened in the show of like the MVP flow, where it's like if you have one task that the user needs to do in order to make your product valuable, what is it? In our case is to be able to play someone and track the score. So I'm about, I would say 70% there with that. And then tomorrow we're probably gonna explore what the actual design for the iPad screen that's going to be mounted on the table, what this is going to look like too. Maybe it's live scoring. I don't see it as having a lot of different screens in there, since it's going to be just like keeping the score alive. Maybe a way to connect. Maybe we're going to show you if you walk by the table, it like recognize that your phone is there.
Get your player information.
Even cooler stuff in the future. Maybe it's just facial recognition. You put your face there and just, hey Claude, ready to play, and then you just play. That could be kind of cool.
It's cool. You're kind of showing a cross-platform or almost like an ecosystem where you're saying, okay, this is the mobile experience, this is the iPad experience, and here's how they all
connect together. Yeah,
that's really great. It's rare that most people get to kind of think about that full flow. So that's really exciting. And thanks again for sharing your sketches.
Oh yeah,
these are I think Irina said great sketches, but
thanks. Yeah,
it's a really good way to start out at any point in the process. So cool. So tomorrow we'll finish up some of the projects we've got.
The mobile part.
We've also got another design challenge that we'll be doing tomorrow. So we'll be sharing out the theme, and that'll be located in the challenge tab in the chat view that everybody is sharing in right now. We'll be giving away another pair of socks.
Yes.
I'm sure.
Clean.
Another clean pair of socks.
That's good.
Cool. So in regards to like the app, how are you feeling so far? We kind of had everybody help submit a logo design. We picked a logo design that people submitted. I think we can probably come back. I know we tweaked the colors there to show off the new feature.
I feel kind of good about it.
Okay,
I can
great.
see some progress. What do you think? Do you think it's coming together a bit? Any stuff we can think about to make it better for tomorrow's quick adjustments that would make a difference in your opinion? Or
I think right now, like from what we have from the landing screen to the colors, I think some things that we could come back to, like in regards to the background image for Foosball. Do we want to use like a full bleed image of people that helps it relate to people, or do we want to do something more comical? I think we get to kind of pick and choose how we want to think of the final visual treatment. But yeah, we'll get to that tomorrow. So thanks everybody for joining. We've got
Thank you.
Danielle and Jeannie coming up next.
Goodbye.
So make sure to stay on.
Good job, man.